Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Jinjin's Cosmic. If you didn't happen to be here, perhaps it's time to meet your soul. Dear Scorpio, there is a chamber within your soul, a space that has always felt both sacred and solitary. It is a place of profound silence, where you have communed with a version of yourself the world has never been granted permission to see. From your earliest days, you have carried the quiet, unshakable knowing that you are fundamentally different. It was not arrogance, nor was it a youthful fantasy. It was an intuitive truth that resonated in your very bones, the sense that you were operating with a set of spiritual senses that others simply did not possess. You have walked through the world, feeling like a visitor from another realm, one who sees the intricate wiring behind the walls, who hears the dissonant hum beneath the beautiful symphony, who feels the tectonic plates of emotion shifting long before the earthquake ever strikes. This perception has been both your greatest power and your most isolating burden. For too long, you may have wondered if you were flawed, too intense, too sensitive, too much. You have watched others navigate the placid surfaces of life and questioned why you are perpetually drawn to the depths, to the churning, mysterious currents below. Today, we bring that questioning to an end. We are here not just to name the divine endowments your soul carries, but to understand the sacred purpose behind them. These are not mere personality traits. They are 5 pillars of a unique spiritual architecture, a design deliberately chosen for you by the universe to serve a purpose far grander than you can imagine. What I am about to share will illuminate the path you have walked, explaining the seemingly random trials, the intense connections, and the profound loneliness you have endured. It will all click into place, not as a series of accidents, but as a divine curriculum. Stay with me, for this is more than information. It is an activation. By the time we reach the end of our journey, you will no longer see your intensity as a cross to bear, but as the very engine of your divine mission on this planet. Before we delve into these sacred truths, I want you to claim the power that is already stirring within you. Go to the comments section right now and make this declaration to yourself and to the universe. I, Scorpio, honor the depths I was born to navigate. Let this be your anchor. Let it be the moment you stop apologizing for your own profundity and begin to consciously wield it as the force for transformation it was always meant to be. The first of your sacred endowments, the very bedrock upon which all the others are built, is the gift of unfiltered truth. This is not mere intuition, Scorpio. It is a form of spiritual sight. While others perceive the world through a carefully curated lens of social pleasantries, wishful thinking, and polite fictions, you were born without that filter. You see what is, stripped bare of all pretense. It is as if you possess an energetic X-ray, allowing you to gaze directly into the foundational structures of a person's soul, a situation's core, a relationship's hidden framework. From a young age, you knew when the adults in your life wore masks of contentment to hide their silent suffering. You knew when a friend's bright laughter was a fragile shield against a sea of tears. You knew when the words "I love you" were spoken from a place of obligation rather than devotion. You do not require evidence or confession. You perceive truth as a frequency, and you can feel the jarring dissonance of a lie in your own body. It feels like a physical discomfort, a subtle nausea, an energetic static that disrupts your own field. This is why superficial environments are so draining for you. Small talk, hollow compliments, relationships built on convenience, these are not just boring to you, they are energetically offensive. Your very soul is allergic to inauthenticity. This gift is not a parlor trick for detecting lies. It is a divine compass that constantly, and often painfully, pulls you toward what is real. It forces you to live with a level of honesty that the world often finds confronting. How many times have you sat in a room feeling utterly alone because you were the only one who could perceive the unspoken truth hanging in the air? How many relationships have you walked away from, not because they were bad, but because they were not true enough? This is not a choice, Scorpio. It is your nature. You are a living, breathing detector of truth, placed on this earth to be an anchor for the real, in a world that is often lost in illusion. Your presence alone forces a reckoning with what is genuine. And while this may make you unpopular in circles that thrive on pretense, it makes you an invaluable pillar in the lives of those who are ready to be real. Building upon this foundation of truth comes your second, and perhaps most misunderstood, gift: the sacred art of emotional alchemy, where other souls are shattered by the brutalities of life, by pain, by loss, by betrayal. Your soul was designed to use these very experiences as raw material for its evolution. You do not simply endure suffering. You are divinely equipped to metabolize it. You can take the lead of trauma and, through a profound inner process, transmute it into the gold of wisdom, resilience, and power. Consider the landscape of your life. It has not been a gentle, rolling meadow. It has been a terrain of volcanic peaks and abyssal trenches. The intensity of your experiences was never a punishment. It was not a sign of bad luck or a cosmic curse. It was your training ground. The universe knew that your soul possessed this alchemical furnace, and so it entrusted you with the most potent and volatile of fuels. Every heartbreak that cracked you open, every betrayal that forced you to question everything, every loss that brought you to your knees, these were not sent to destroy you. They were initiations. While others are broken by such fires, you are forged. You descend into the wound, not as a victim, but as a shaman. You sit with the poison until you find the medicine hidden within it. You allow the pain to burn away everything that is not essential, everything that is not you, and you rise from those ashes, not just intact, but reborn. This is why people who have only witnessed your trials from a distance are in awe of your strength. They cannot comprehend how you are still standing, let alone how you seem to have grown more potent, more centered, more deeply yourself. But the true magic of this gift is that it is not solely for you. Your ability to navigate the underworld of your own emotions makes you a guide for others. When someone is lost in the labyrinth of their own grief or rage, your presence does not offer simple platitudes. It offers a living example that the darkness is survivable, that it has a purpose, and that one can emerge from it not just healed, but transformed. You are an emotional alchemist, Scorpio, a master of turning the sacred wound into a source of miraculous power. Have you ever noticed how people seem to find their own strength after sharing their deepest pain with you? It is because your energy shows them how. These first two gifts create the conditions for your third, the powerful and often overwhelming gift of soul gravity. This is not the fleeting charm of a pleasing personality or the calculated allure of physical beauty. It is a profound, energetic pull that emanates from the very core of your being. Because you live in a state of unfiltered truth and have alchemized your pain into power, your soul has a density, a weight, a gravity that is irresistible. You do not have to seek attention. It finds you. You can be the quietest person in a room, and yet, people will be inexplicably drawn into your orbit. This magnetism operates on the soul level, bypassing the conscious mind entirely. It awakens a deep longing in others, a recognition of a depth and authenticity they may have lost touch with in themselves. In love, it ignites passions of startling intensity, for your energy promises a connection that is not superficial, but transformative. In friendship, it forges bonds of unshakable loyalty, creating alliances that can withstand any storm. Your presence acts as a catalyst. It dissolves the masks of others. In your company, people feel a strange and compelling permission to be their true selves. They confess secrets they have never told another living soul. They reveal vulnerabilities they have kept carefully hidden. This is because your soul's gravity creates a safe and sacred container for the truth to emerge. You don't just attract people, Scorpio, you attract their hidden essence. This also explains why your life is so often filled with drama and intensity. It is not because you seek it out. It is because your energy is an amplifier. It intensifies everything it touches. You cannot have a lukewarm connection because your very essence summons the full spectrum of the human experience. You are a magnet for souls who are, consciously or unconsciously, ready for a profound transformation. Some will be drawn to you for healing and growth. Others, who are not ready to face their own shadows, will be triggered by your light and may react with fear, envy, or conflict. How many times has your mere presence changed the entire dynamic of a room or a relationship? This is not an accident. It is the inescapable effect of your soul's powerful, gravitational pull. This leads us to the fourth gift, a power that is both liberating and terrifying to the uninitiated, the gift of conscious death and rebirth. You, Scorpio, are a master of reinvention, not as a matter of style, but as a matter of spiritual survival. While other souls may evolve gradually, sanding down their rough edges over a lifetime, you transform in cycles of complete and total annihilation and resurrection. You have the supernatural courage to let an entire version of yourself die so that a new, more evolved version can be born. Where others cling to the familiar to jobs, relationships, beliefs, and identities that have long since expired, you understand that holding on is a form of spiritual stagnation that is far more terrifying than the unknown. You can stand at the edge of the abyss, the void of a life you no longer recognize, and you can willingly leap, trusting that you will grow wings on the way down. This is why your life story reads not as a single linear narrative, but as a series of distinct lifetimes contained within one. The person you were 5 or 10 years ago is a stranger to you now, a ghost you can observe with a mixture of compassion and detachment. You do not just change. You shed your entire skin. You burn the past to the ground, not out of anger, but out of the deep, instinctual knowledge that the new cannot be built upon the ashes of the old. This gives you a radical freedom that few will ever experience, the freedom from a fixed identity. You are not bound by who you were yesterday. You are constantly in a state of becoming. But this gift also carries the profound wisdom of the underworld. You understand the process of endings. You know what it is to sit in the dark, in the fertile void where everything has fallen away and nothing new has yet appeared. Your own repeated journeys through death and rebirth make you an invaluable guide, a psychopomp, for others who are facing their own necessary endings. When someone is at a terrifying crossroads, needing to let go of a life that is no longer theirs, they will find their way to you, for you are one of the few who can stand with them in the fire and calmly say, "I know the way through." And finally, we arrive at the fifth and most sacred gift, the one that weaves all the others together, your innate connection to the mystery. You were born with a key, Scorpio, a key to the hidden realms of existence. You have a natural and intuitive access to the truths that lie behind the veil of ordinary reality. This is not just a fascination, it is your native language. Your soul is attuned to the great, unspoken mysteries of life and death, of power and surrender, of love and loss, of sex and spirit. This is why the mundane world has always felt so profoundly unsatisfying to you. You are not built for a life devoid of meaning. You are constantly searching for the hidden patterns, the invisible threads that connect all things, the deeper purpose pulsing beneath the surface of events. Your soul does not operate on the frequency of what is, but on the frequency of why it is. This gift explains your comfort with subjects that others deem taboo or morbid. Death is not an ending to you, but a transformation. Power is not just a social construct, but a potent, living energy. Sexuality is not merely a physical act, but a gateway to the divine. You feel at home in these deep waters because you are a creature of the deep. Where others see darkness and feel fear, you see richness and feel a sense of homecoming. You are a bridge between the seen and the unseen worlds. You can bring back wisdom from the subtle realms and translate it into practical understanding. You are the keeper of the secrets, the one who is not afraid to look into the shadows to find the light. How many times have you had a profound insight that seemed to come from a source beyond your own mind? How often have you simply known things you had no logical way of knowing? This is your connection to the mystery at work. It places you in a rare class of souls whose purpose is to remind humanity that the reality we can see and touch is only a fraction of the magnificent, mysterious truth of existence. Now you understand, Scorpio, the intensity, the loneliness, the feeling of being different. It was all by design. You were not made to fit in. You were made to catalyze change. You were not built for the shallow end. You were engineered for the profound depths where true transformation occurs. These 5 gifts: Unfiltered Truth, Emotional Alchemy, Soul Gravity, Conscious Rebirth, and a connection to the mystery, are your sacred toolkit. Your mission, should you choose to fully embrace it, is not to soften your edges to make the world more comfortable. It is to use your intensity to wake the world up. It is to use your truth-seeing to cut through collective illusion. It is to use your alchemical power to show others the way through their own darkness. It is to use your magnetism to pull others toward their own authentic core. And it is to use your connection to the mystery to infuse this world with a much-needed sense of magic and meaning. Stop apologizing for who you are. The world does not need another muted, palatable version of you. It needs your full, undiluted, magnificent power. It needs the seer, the alchemist, the catalyst, the phoenix, and the mystic that you are. What will you do with this knowledge? How will you now choose to honor the divine architecture of your soul? Your life was never meant to be ordinary. Are you ready to finally step into the extraordinary purpose for which you were so meticulously created? The world is waiting.